on my computer.
That's all right. Yeah, where were we?
My name is...
That's right. So you bumped into this halfling, right? The halfling's at the door.
Yeah.
His name is Pal Lodar, and he says the master would wish to see you.
After you, my friend.
All right. He leads the way up the stairs, and he takes you to a different room that you've not been to before. Further into the house, it's like it seems to be modelled off a dwarven, like a dwarven dining hall, and he's sitting at the head of the table, having a feast by himself. There's like 5 different plates of food sitting around. You see Jaeger up by the fire, standing with his back to you with his axe, resting over his shoulder on its strap, and Jaeger's just staring into the fire. And Bayless, I'm going to call him, yeah, that's right, Baezeldral. Baezeldral, I just got to write that down. Baezeldral. Storgentherm is his last name. Because you speak Dwarven, you know that means Storm's Wrath.
Okay.
Okay, so he's sitting there and he looks up as you come in from his meal. Ah, it's the boy. Why don't you come in?
Coming in.
Finished my business for the day. Thought that it might be time I could entertain a guest. Why don't you take a seat?
I take a seat.
Now, tell me more about yourself. It's been a long time since I saw your father.
Well, sadly, father has passed.
Oh, and how did he die? Sorry to hear that, lad.
And basically, his heart gave way and his kidneys gave way.
Well, that is a terrible death, unfortunately. But it could be worse. You could have died to an orcan blade in the mountains, in the frost and the cold. It's worse ways. I'm sure he passed reasonably peacefully compared to that. Ah, my father. Now there was a warrior. Very difficult to live up to his fathers, I find.
Yes, they are very difficult to live up to.
Yes. So in any case, and what have you been doing with yourself then since he died?
Oh, I basically have been helping a friend of mine acquire things.
I see. What sort of things do you acquire?
Whatever they ask me to acquire.
I see. So,
I wish to do...
Is that the sort of employment that you're looking for then, son?
Yes.
I see.
With somebody I can trust, of course.
I must say you're well-mannered and you fit in around the upper classes, far more so than any of my current employees, who are a little, shall we say, rough around the edges. Some have even gone so far as to suggest that I'm a little rough around the edges. Yes. If you can believe it.
By the way, I keep an eye on the guy with the axe.
Now, I'm quite cultured for a dwarf, I understand, and but the problem, of course, is that dwarven culture and the cultures of Vane Gate are quite different, as you surely know. Mm-hmm. So for me to make the rounds among the upper classes and the nobles and the high people of Vane Gate is a little trickier for me. So what I could be doing, or I could consider doing, is employing you to, well, essentially to mingle.
Uh-huh. For what purpose, my lord?
Well, there's a few whose eyes I would like to keep an eye on.
I see.
I'm sure you met Pal Lodbrok earlier, old Pal Lodar.
Yes.
He's a fellow I like to keep in my employ. He sees everything and he goes everywhere, but he's not the kind who can mingle per se. He's more the kind that can
Keep an eye on things.
see things from afar, as you say, keep an eye on things.
So did you get him to follow me this evening?
Well, as it happens, yes, I did. And I understand you went to the tavern and you met with an acquaintance of mine.
Yes, I did.
Would that be your friend that you keep mentioning?
Yes.
See, and that wouldn't have anything to do with the reason why you found my gate this morning.
Maybe a little.
See. Well, I'm going to put 2 and 2 together here and come up with 6, I'm sure, but I have my own, I can make some connections.
All right, my lord.
Now, this wouldn't have anything to do with the wee box that I'll be moving this evening.
A wee box? If it did, what would that mean?
So it does happen.
Let me put it this way.
That dirty elf.
If a certain person was told to acquire a box and refused to do so because he discovered that his father's relationship with a certain person was more important, what would that get me? My life, perhaps?
What do you think of that, Jacob? Jacob turns around. What do I think of that? I'd have to say he's a cheeky little shite.
What does he say?
He said, I'd have to say he's a cheeky little shite. I'll cleave him in 2 if you like. No. None of that. No, I think I have a better idea. I think what you need to do at this point, my young friend, is you're going to have to make up your mind. On account of your father, what I'm not going to do is kill you.
Thank you.
Instead, because what I think you did here is actually quite genius, I'm going to hire you. But you're going to have to make up your mind, because you can't work for me and Baezeldral. I won't have you working for that filthy elf. That filthy elf has taken more business off me in the last 100 years than I can count. And I won't have it, not anymore. Or if I can help it. So,
can he still be my friend? He may be a valuable contact to us both.
I think that might be worthwhile. I mean, they do say to keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So perhaps the answer here is for you to remain friends with Baezeldral and for you to continue meeting with him.
All right. I'm at your...
Now, what does he know right now? What have you told him?
He knows the layout of this house.
Oh dear.
He knows the timing of your guard. He knows your most dangerous one.
Oh, I see.
He also has the back door open.
Do you hear that, Jager? You're my most dangerous one. The back door's open, is it? Well, yeah. I see. And is there any particular time we should be on the lookout?
I have no idea about that. I give you my word.
You are a fool, I must say. You have no idea what you've walked into.
Not at all, my lord.
But you could be useful, so you're going to stay alive for now. And if you can prove yourself, and you can prove your loyalty, I'll keep you.
What is it you wish of me?
I haven't made up my mind yet. However, he looks at the table for a minute. Do you like to play games?
Yes, to a degree.
To a degree. Have you played Dwarven checkers?
Have I?
Have you played Dwarven checkers? Well, you've definitely heard of Dwarven checkers because you've been to the Banakaya. And in fact, you have played Dwarven checkers and you do know all the rules.
Yes, my lord. I know Dwarven checkers. I can't
Jaeger,
say.
tell Gilly to bring the Dwarven checkers in. And Jaeger reluctantly goes to the door and calls out with a whistle. There's this big loud wolf whistle. And Gilly comes in and she sees you and she smiles to herself. And she brings in a box of Dwarven checkers and lays them out on the table and she clears away the food. And then they bring in a large decanter of wine and place that on the table and pour 2 glasses of wine. And actually 3 glasses, one for Jaeger as well. All right then, will you be black or red?
I'll take red.
Right now, out of game, Dwarven checkers is a bit more like chess than it is like checkers. It has big chunky pieces made of stone.
Yeah.
And it has very complicated rules. The pieces have names like the guardhouse, the gate, the battlements and stuff like that. It's a game of fortress building.
Okay.
Okay. So, all right. So what we'll do is we'll roll some dice to see who's going to win at Dwarven checkers, but we can play it out as we know the conclusion to the game, but we don't know the conversation of the game.
Okay.
Oops, I'm on the wrong tab. There's the tab. Okay, so what would this be? Actually, this would be a deception roll too, because it's about drawing in the enemy.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to roll a 7 plus 5, which is 12. And he rolls, he's going to beat the shit out of you with a 17 plus 4. So well, he's much better. At least this game he is.
I'm not surprised.
All right.
I wanted to see how he plays.
All right. Well, he's very good at it. So, I see you do know the rules of Dwarven checkers. Very good. Well, I wouldn't move there. If I, oh dear, looks like you've lost your bafflements. Oh, that's a terrible crying shame, lad. Terrible crying shame.
Yeah, it is, my lord. Ha.
Are you any good at sneaking into houses?
Yes, my lord.
And have you killed anyone?
Have I what one?
Have you killed anyone?
Sadly, yes.
Sadly, yes.
I don't like to kill. If it is my choice, I like to come and go without death.
It's always much cleaner if you can avoid it. That's true. And I must say, if you're going to work for me, there's going to be a point where sooner or later it's going to come apart.
Sometimes I've had to commit myself to the situation.
So out of game, your first level, and you wouldn't have killed more than about a D4 worth of people at absolute maximum.
Yeah.
So I'm going to roll a D4 for you. We'll use your character sheet to do it with.
Okay.
I'm going to come over here to D4 and roll it. 2. Okay, you've killed 2 people, literally 2 people in your whole life.
Okay. No, fair enough.
And that's been since your father died, and both times was because they were basically trying to rob you.
Yep.
You never actually had to kill anybody in the course of a job. Both those times, in fact, both those guys were at the same time. They were the same two people trying to rob you at the same time together. So you ended up having to kill them.
Yeah.
And you killed them by using your deception to pretend like you were defenseless.
Yeah.
And then you pretended like, and you used sleight of hand to pull a knife out, and then you stabbed them both really fast and essentially just murdered them. And that's what you remember as this very traumatic experience of having to kill these two people next to a wagon in the dark in the rain. This was like 2 years ago.
Yep.
Okay. So you've killed before. All right. And would you, I suppose you wouldn't die for me. That's a bit much to ask, isn't it?
That is a bit much. I would try to do the job you want me to without dying.
I see. All right. Well, clearly you're good at reconnaissance. You got in here and you managed to sketch out some plans. So that's the sort of thing you can do. All right. All right. Let me think on it. I have some ideas about what you could be useful for. Come and find me in the morning about 11 o'clock. I'll be on the balcony.
I'll find you in the morning, my lord.
Oh, and checkmate.
Yes, my lord.
Big kind of chuckles to himself.
He leaves and goes to his room.
All right. Well, you get back to your room, and around about that time, you get to your room and lock yourself in, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's round about 11 o'clock at night now. Maybe 11:45, we'll say.
Yeah.
And you're just about to go to bed when you hear the sounds of a struggle outside your bedroom door and in the corridor leading to the stairs. And then you hear this thump and everything goes quiet. And then you hear the sounds of metal scraping, and it's hard to say exactly what it is, but it sounds like something being dragged up the stairs and then past your door and then off down another corridor.
Okay.
And then everything goes quiet.
I'll go back to bed. Nothing to do with me.
All right. Well, very good then. You go to sleep eventually. Let's see if you can even sleep with this shit going on around you. We'll make a wisdom check, I think. 14. All right. Yep. Okay. So you go back to sleep, and you wake up in the morning still alive.
Yeah.
And that's always an advantage.
Oh, I love it.
By the way, you have a bunch of stuff at the tavern where you paid for a room, where you've been staying for the last couple of months.
I'll go and get it.
Okay.
Out the back door again.
Okay. What? All right.
To the inn.
All right. You notice that the wax that you put on the lock has been removed.
Ah. Okay.
Okay. You get to the inn, and when you get there, you notice Baezeldral is actually at the inn, sitting at your table, and he sees you when you come in, and he doesn't look very happy.
I go to, well,
Milford Brixton, did you double-cross me?
now that would be a bad thing, wouldn't it?
It would be.
You know me better than that. How dare you?
How dare I?
Yeah.
I sent a man to where you gave explicit instructions. You said the door would be unlocked. You said
It was.
I
unlocked it. I unlocked it. I did what I said I would do.
My man was found dead in the river with his throat slit this morning by children.
Well, That had nothing to do with me. I did as you instructed. I can't afford to be on the bad side of you. You
I've
know
lost
that.
the box. I've lost that box, and I don't see how I will obtain it now.
I did what I did for you.
Hmm.
I don't betray people.
Well, I cannot trust you anymore, Milford Brixton. I'm not sure
What if
we'll be doing any more business in the future.
I'm sad you feel that way. But what say a certain man needs help from you? Would you be interested?
Help from me? I doubt it.
Never doubt anything, my friend.
I wouldn't help that filthy dwarf if he got on his knees and begged for it.
So you two have a history?
A history? I shouldn't dignify the question with an answer.
Well, I'm sorry you feel the way you do, but I did as you asked.
I suppose you did.
And we've been friends for a long time. Why would I betray you?
A very good question. Why would you betray me?
And if I did betray you, wouldn't I be dead?
He flicks a silver coin on the table towards you. He says, "That's for your troubles."
Thank you, my friend.
May we not cross paths too soon in the future. I'm angry with you, Milford Brixton. You failed me. Our friendship is not on stable ground.
Then I must gain your trust once more.
And how do you propose to do that?
The time will come. The time will come.
Well, don't wait too long. I've got more jobs to do.
More jobs?
Well, yes, but I can't hire you for them because you balk every time there's some family connection or some strange coincidence or whatever.
Every person's got their one little thing.
Yes, well, you've had your chance. That was your chance. May it never happen again.
All right.
Do we have an understanding, Milford Brixton?
We do.
Very good. Otherwise, I will point your debtors in your direction.
I see. Fair enough. I will see you anon.
Shall. Goodbye.
Bye.
Adieu.
He goes off. He
Right.
gets his stuff.
All right. When you come back, Baezeldral's gone. All right. You take your stuff back to the place. And as you're traveling back, you think you notice once or twice a small diminutive figure following you.
Following me. Yes, I figured as much.
Yes. And so you return back to Baezeldral's haven, as it were.
Yep.
And you go back to your room.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
What time are you guys eating?
About, Judy, what time are we eating? It's already.
Okay. So when do you want to wrap up?
When you want to wrap up.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't mind. All right. Well, you get back to the house, and you have until 11 o'clock. What I need to do is I need to spend a few minutes thinking about what he's going to hire you to do next, and what the next steps.
Okay. Well, I'll leave you with that, and you can ponder.
All right. It's probably the best thing. Otherwise, I'm going to be trying to pull shit out of my ass, and it's going to be less than good.
No, because I don't want you to be that, because I've been brilliant tonight.
Yeah, you've done a really great job. I'm really impressed. I'm going to upload this video to YouTube too, so I'll send you some links for these videos for today's session. Okay?
Okay.
All right, mate.
I know what he's like now, though.
Yes, you do.
Sadly,
Okay.
he's got morals.
He does. All right, I'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
See you. I'll give you a call back tonight if you like, if I get a chance.
Yeah,
All right.
Cool.
Okay. Keep your phone. When I tried to call you back on your cell phone, by the way, I couldn't get through for some reason.
Okay.
So just